Hi team, Anna here, makeup creator, teacher, and educator, specifically for people with hooded eyes, oily and textured skin, 30 plus skin, all that good stuff. We're here to review this. You guys, I received my first ever Huda Beauty PR. Dare I say, this collection is absolutely perfect, and it was sitting in my Sephora cart, and I was about to buy it, but I received it in PR, and I couldn't be happier. We're going to be reviewing the entire collection, the Huda Beauty Icy collection, with the eyeshadow palette, the face gloss, the blushes, the everything. I am beyond grateful and happy and excited. I've been seeing these like hats and girlies do their cute looks all over my social media, and I was like, dang, even if I buy the palette, I'm not gonna get the hat, but it's so cute and I want it, and I received it in PR and I literally couldn't be happier. Everything is gorgeous. So the PR package comes in with some details on the products, so let's talk a little bit about the products and then try everything on, of course. Every single thing in this collection is super interesting. Like, I'm really intrigued. I wouldn't have purchased anything besides the eyeshadow palette. I just want to put it out there, but I am happy to have these things because I think they're super cool. So we're obviously going to start talking about the eyeshadow palette. This is what the collection has to offer. Huda Beauty's last large palette, as far as I know. Also, I still to this day remember that the first eyeshadow palette I bought when I moved to the States, to this country, was the Mercury Retrograde by Huda Beauty. I was dreaming about that palette and I purchased it, and it's just like, it feels so full circle to me to finally, not finally, but like to receive PR from Huda Beauty. It's like really big moment for me, and I'm super excited. Anyway, so this palette is, dare I say it, the most gorgeous palette I've ever seen in my entire life. If you're not new here, you know that I love my cool tones, and this is a perfect cool toned eyeshadow palette. It is different than the Makeup by Mario Etherealized Moonlight, which is also a perfect cool toned eyeshadow palette. It's gorgeous. It's so stunning. We're going to swatch it and create a beautiful icy look. This eyeshadow, this single pure white eyeshadow, is everything I need. I feel like it's the most flattering shade ever, but we'll get to it. What else we have in this collection is this face gloss. So you know how Huda sometimes comes out with these products that look like bacteria and like a little bit gross? So this is one of those things, but it's not going to be a highlighter. It is actually going to be like a pH activating blush. So once we pick it up and apply on the face, it's going to turn pink according to your pH levels, but also it is face gloss, so it's going to be glossy as well. We're gonna test it out. My theory is it's gonna be sticky, even though it says it's not sticky. My theory is it's gonna be sticky and it's not gonna work on my textured skin, but I will be happy to be wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I will happily try it out, but it's just not the kind of product I typically reach for. Next thing we got is these two beautiful new blush shades, which I think she calls bronzer, but it's technically a blush. So the two shades are Latte and Coco Loco. Obviously Latte for light and medium complexions, Coco Loco for medium deep and deep complexions. I am wearing, and I will apply on camera, the shade Latte. Never tried this blush formula, also really intriguing. And then last but not least, we got the three glosses. So these are the Faux filler glosses right here. We have three shades. They honestly look so beautiful, right? So this is kind of like an icy shade. It's called She Glitzy. So pretty. We will probably apply it at the end of the video. Then we have the shade She Flirty. It's the one I'm wearing today and right now, more like a peachy tone shade. I'm actually going to swatch these for you because, oh, why wouldn't I? Anyways, so the peachy shade is right here. This is the one I'm wearing today. The formula is thick but not sticky. Reminds me of my favorite Lawless Forget the Filler glosses, like low-key reminds me of those. And it's interesting because this one is also faux filler, and so it's supposed to like smooth out your lines. I don't see it necessarily smoothing out my lines as much as the Lawless gloss does, but I like the way it looks and feels, which is very rare. Typically I don't like glosses. And then we got, yeah, the first shade that I showed you, the icy one. I'm gonna swatch it, but we'll definitely try it out later in the video. Yeah, kind of see-through. It has some blue sparkles in it, which is super cute because it could go with that like icy eye look. And then the third one is, I think, the most unique and pretty, and it reminds me of one of my favorite glosses by Dior with brown and the sparkles and everything. This one is She Fire. Yeah, like really gorgeous. I do love the thick applicator. I think it's really nicely applying the product on the lips. Yeah, this is like chocolate, like warm chocolate brown with some pink and golden sparkles. I think these are super nice and unique and beautiful, and I do like the formula so far. So yeah, here are the shades. All right, so we haven't swatched anything else, right? We should swatch, because I'm gonna start with a blush. So let me swatch these two, and then I'm gonna apply the shade Latte, and we'll move on to the eyeshadow palette. So here are the blush slash bronzer swatches of really beautiful shades. The lighter one is Latte, the deeper one is Coco Loco. I think they're both looking really nice, especially for the fall. So we are going to start by applying bronzer, or it still counts as liquid blush in their line, I think, but it is in the shade Latte right here. To be honest with you, I have never tried this formula. I don't know what it's giving. I do love the shade though. Like, I am a big fan of bronzer shades for blush on me specifically. Say Road Beauty, Toasted Teddy, or Sleepy Girl. Those are actually some of my favorite shades. So let's go ahead and see what it's giving. I don't know how pigmented it is, so I don't want to go like too crazy at first. I'm just gonna do a little bit of this, and hopefully that's not too much. I'm gonna go in with my sponge that I've been using for this look. It feels like the formula is not too liquidy. Like, it doesn't seem to be blending super seamlessly, but I love the shade. No, I like the formula. I think I have a problem with the applicator. I think the applicator is not my favorite because it's so tiny. I feel like I would just like prefer it to be like a bigger doe foot applicator or something completely different. In all honesty though, I prefer stick blushes or blushes like in a pan and not liquid blushes, but this shade is super pretty. Like, this shade is super pretty, and once I apply it, it does look really beautiful. Wow, this is a good shade for the fall. I will also apply a little bit on my nose just because that's kind of what I like. Honestly, I like it. Let me just like try and touch it. It doesn't feel sticky at all, which is also good because it kind of looks glowy. Do you know what I mean? But I also did use a glowy primer, so that could be why. Honestly, loving the shade though. The shade is like right up my alley. It might look like a lot right now, but I will powder in a second and it's gonna tone it down. Wow, okay, wow, this is really beautiful. This is really beautiful. I bet the deeper shade would look really beautiful on a darker complexion, but this is really nice for me. Okay, this was a little bit of a roller coaster, which happens a lot with Huda Beauty products, like complexion products specifically. I'm like, I don't know if I like it. It happened with the foundation as well. First time I tried it, wasn't the biggest fan. Now it's on my Sephora favorites video. Like, I love it. I'm wearing it today as well, and once I powder, you will see how beautiful it looks like. But yeah, well, let me finish the face and we're gonna move on. If we're talking about the price point of everything, the eyeshadow palette is $69 US. One of these blushes is gonna be $21. One of these glosses is going to be $19, and this face gloss is $39. Outrageous price point if you ask me. If I didn't see this price point, I might even be convinced that it's good, but for $39, there's definitely nothing this thing can do to make me enjoy it. Let's just put it that way. It's a ridiculous price point. But anyways, let's get to the eyeshadow palette. So the eyeshadow palette is going to be Icy Nude eyeshadow palette. The packaging reminds me of her previous big eyeshadow palettes. I don't really know why she wants to step away from creating these big eyeshadow palettes. I feel like me as a creator and makeup lover and a lot of other people are really looking forward to this every single year. So I feel like this was kind of a staple in the Huda Beauty brand, but considering they do want to, they don't want to, they are rebranding and changing everything completely. I do understand why they want to change some things up and maybe step away from what they have been doing, but at the same time, I cannot not be sad because of it, because I'm a big fan. I myself own several. I own the Mercury Retrograde and the Rose Quartz. Probably just those two, because I did not buy the reddish palette, the naughty one, and I did not buy the, what else did they have? Something warm. Oh yeah, and I did not buy the grunge palette. So yeah, those are the only ones I have, and I would have purchased this if they didn't send it to me in PR. It's literally sitting in my Sephora cart. It's so beautiful. I'm really happy I got it. Stunning. Let's do some swatches, shall we? And then put it on the eyes. Holy moly. These shades are so beautiful. I truly forgot what it's like to get a Huda Beauty palette. Amazing experience, you guys. It's so good. All right, the first shade is Iced Out. Immediately spectacular. Purple to blue to, oh my god, this is multi-chromy. This is gorgeous. We're gonna have to put this on my eyeballs, right? Then we have High Life Beautiful Taupey Matte shade. Then we have the shade Platinum, which is also a kind of shade that I really enjoy. Wow, and it swatches so gorgeously. I totally forgot how good her formulas are. And then we have Unapologetic. I definitely have not not purchased a Huda Beauty palette in a very long time. So yeah, this is exciting. This is fun. I'm enjoying this so much. And so far it is like 11 out of 10. Wow, these shades are beautiful. And of course, even though it is a cool tone eyeshadow palette, Huda Beauty loves her warms, loves her golds, and she will put it everywhere, which is fine by me, I guess. We're gonna start with Faux Fur, which is a deep chocolate brown, a really gorgeous matte shade. Gold standards, like I said, she needed a golden shimmer, I guess. I don't need it here, but I guess it's here, so it's fine. Avalanche, whatever happens, this will always and forever be my favorite shade of the palette, even though it didn't swatch as spectacular as I hoped. But we're gonna try it on the eyeballs. This is supposed to be really beautiful. And we got the shade Aurora. Ooh, this is actually a really, really beautiful pink bronze kind of shade. The next shade is VVS. I don't know what that means. Genuinely do not. Have no idea. This is so beautiful though. So beautiful. Like cool tone, but it has a lot of warm particles in it. Very unique shade. Then we have the shade Poised, which is a matte gray. Shade She Rich, which is the deep, deep dark brown. Again, more cool tone and kind of purpley than the other one. Then we have shade Cold Plunge, which is kind of a beigey matte shade. Beautiful. We have only last row left. Wow, these are interesting. We're gonna start with a light pink IDGAF. I bet this is also going to be a beautiful shade, even though it doesn't swatch. So then we have this shade Bling, which is, it feels like a literal harsh glitter. I will not be putting this on my eyes, but it is beautiful, like obviously, but it's literally dry glitter. I don't know what they wanted people to do with this eyeshadow. I don't think it's going to be safe on the eyes. I'm gonna double check that. Then we have a Oneself, which is another beautiful gray matte, lighter gray matte, and then this beautiful shade that like was almost like really hard to like touch, like I was afraid to ruin it because it's so soft and it has these big flakes. It's called Diamond Dew. It's actually really, really beautiful. Like I assume it's gonna look gorgeous. Yeah, you probably didn't see it. Sorry about that. This one I might use today because it's just so reflective. Wow, this is really, really beautiful. This color story is really beautiful. Really gorgeous. We have two more shades left. They're both mattes. We have Lavish, which is a pinky matte. First Class, which is a peachy matte. I gotta say, this looks so different than what I expected it to look like this entire color story and the swatches. It's very beautiful. It is way more gorgeous and interesting than I thought it would look. I don't know why. I thought it would all look kind of the same, but also the sparkles would sparkle. It does not look like that at all. And when the palette looks really gorgeous on the swatches, it means that it will probably look really gorgeous on the eyes too, right? So stunning. Take a look right there at the entire palette swatched. Really beautiful. Let's get into the application. So I've gone ahead and applied eyeshadow primer over in this eye, and we're going to start building up the crease with some of these beautiful mattes. I'm going to start with the shade High Life, which is this matte right here. I'm using a really big fluffy brush. The shades are a little bit like there's a little bit of fallout, but nothing too crazy. And wow, this shade really pulls pink on me, which I don't mind, kind of like mauve-y. I do want to build up the crease and make it really, really beautiful and deep, and then kind of brighten things up with some shimmers and that beautiful, beautiful white shade as well. I'm just kind of working this out, even probably going to blend everything out with Lavish, which is an even lighter matte, just to kind of make sure everything is nice and diffused. It's also pulling really pink. Interesting. Don't mind it at all though. Let's get into something gray though. Let's do a little bit of Poised. I'm sure this is going to pull more cool toned, well not cool tone, but like actual gray, kind of looking purpley gray on me. Really interesting. So far the mattes are blending quite easily. I have been out of practice with the Huda Beauty formula to be honest with you. Like it's been a while, but I know I always loved her mattes. I'm also kind of just blending everything into my brow through here. I will take a smaller fluffy brush and get into a deeper shade, which is going to be this one. Is it called Faux Fur? Yeah, it's called Faux Fur, a deep chocolate brown. And I'm going to start concentrating these deeper shades only on the outer portion, kind of like so. I literally just place it here and it blends itself so beautifully. Just a little bit above the natural crease because I do have hooded eyes, so I kind of have to go a little bit higher with all of these shades. And then I'm getting into the deepest shade, She Rich, which is that like really, really deep, almost like plummy shade. Only a touch of that though for that extra depth, and then going back to blending. I'm gonna add the shade Oneself, which is a little bit more gray, to kind of cool everything. to kind of go away from that purple pink vibe to into more like grayish vibe. I'm gonna go ahead and work on my lower lash lines with all the same shades. I'm starting with Poise and kind of applying it everywhere, and then I'm just going to darken the outer portions for that smoky effect. And then we're gonna get into my favorite shade, and shade that I'm so excited about, the white, and some shimmers as well. Okay, so let's hope that this white is as pigmented as I want it to be. I'm gonna apply it in the very inner corner. This is my favorite thing in the entire world to do, to apply an off-white or white shade in the inner corner that is matte. This is so pretty. In my opinion, this is like very, very flattering, and I just adore it. And yes, it is as pigmented as I wanted it to be. So pretty. Now I'm going to kind of like carve out the crease, kind of like cut the crease using this white shade. I don't even need like any base or concealer. This holds so much pigment that it's working out really nicely. And again, I'm doing it kind of like above my natural crease because I have hooded eyes, so just keep that in mind. This is so pretty. I'm just packing that shade and then making sure that everything is kind of smooth out here on the outer edge. This is so pretty. So pretty. I definitely do want to add sparkles though, but even as a matte look, like this palette is perfect for like matte looks like this. I will apply a tiny bit of this under the brow just to brighten things up. And also, before we move to the shimmers, I'm gonna add a really bright pencil in the waterline. I feel like this looks just needs it. Like this look is screaming a bright waterline. This pencil is by the brand called Sweet Beauty, which is a Swedish brand, and it's my favorite pencil like that to put in the waterline. What are we doing about the shimmers? I think we should try two, definitely. I'm thinking Iced Out, and I'm thinking Diamond Dew. Yeah. So with Diamond Dew, I will kind of really carefully pat all over the lid to create like a, maybe like a diamond, kind of like a diamond glow, diamond effect. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to like pick it up to its full opacity, just a little bit on my finger. Yeah, ooh, this is so pretty. I'm just gonna throw it around like so. Wow, that's a lot. I didn't want it to be so much. I'm gonna try and kind of like use a fluffy brush, yeah, to disperse some of it and just create like a little diamond dust moment. Yeah, this is what I wanted. Not on my face though, but what can you do? Let's see if I can get rid of some of it. It is what it is. And then I'm gonna do Iced Out carefully. I will pick it up on a different finger, and I want to place this in the inner portion and see if we can create that colorful little moment. Oh, that's so pretty. That shade is so pretty. I feel like this palette, wow, so much fallout. Be very careful with these shimmers. But I feel like this palette is very versatile if you want a cool tone, ethereal, sparkly, very look. Like, I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. But again, the sparkles are everywhere and on my face. Probably do your eyes before your face if you don't want that. But it is what it is. I'm accepting it. We're not striving for perfection here. We're just trying to create a pretty look and test out a palette. All right, let me do liquid liner, mascara, and a lash, and finish the other eye, obviously. And I'm going to show you the final result because we also need to try the face gloss. So we'll try the face gloss, and then I will share all of my thoughts about this entire collection. Okay, so the eye makeup is done, and I was just playing with the face gloss. I forgot that I was only supposed to film one side, so I kind of applied it to both. But I'm gonna show you something, you guys. So it kind of feels like it's going to be sticky, but it is not. And when you touch it and you swirl it around, it kind of feels balmy. But then, you know, and your fingers turn pink, obviously, because it's pH activated. And I don't want to add a little bit any more to my cheeks, maybe like a little bit to my forehead, because my cheeks are already super pink from it. It's like really intense, so use only a little bit of it. But at the same time, it does not make it sticky, which is super surprising in my opinion. Like, I feel glowy, but it doesn't feel sticky. At the same time, I don't think it is a product that is worth the price point. For funsies, this could be a cool, affordable product for 10 bucks, but it is $39. You definitely don't need a product like this for $39 unless you really want it, obviously, like everything else. But it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I don't think that I'm gonna be reaching for it, but it is much better than I expected and looks much better on my skin than I expected. It's not glowy, and it's not too glowy, and it's not really sticky, and it's not emphasizing my texture, which is all I ever wanted from this. So it's not too bad of a product. Let's just put it that way. The eyes, I'm absolutely obsessing over, and we're gonna try out a gloss. I want to do one gloss here with you guys, and then I'm gonna film the third one for the shorts. So I was just wearing the peachy one. Let's do which one should we try now? Let's try the icy one, and then I'll do the brown for the short form content. Okay, so this shade is going to be She Glitzy, and it's kind of icy. It has blue particles in it. Let's go ahead and apply it. It's really icy and cool tone. feels just as good as the peachy one. Obviously, I like this formula. I already told you guys. I really like that it's non-stick and you don't really feel it on the lips. This is basically everything I want in a gloss, and it's really, really sparkly. I really like it. Like, not like sparkly, but glossy. That's what it is. So far, these are kind of similar, to be honest. This is just a little bit more warm because it has some peach undertones to it, and this one is more cool, super pretty. I will try this one out in a short form and let you know which one is my favorite. But let me gather my thoughts, pull out some Huda Beauty palettes that I have to compare the shades, and share my final opinion. All right, guys, let's have a little final chat about this entire collection. I pulled out the two palettes that I have by Huda, Mercury Retrograde and Rose Quartz, which I just wanted to show you the new palette next to these because I know they're very, very different, especially Mercury Retrograde, but I still wanted to kind of show you guys both next to each other. So we're going to start with Mercury Retrograde and Icy Nude palette. Definitely very different vibes. This one is so pink and so colorful and so peachy, and it has pops of blue and purple. There's definitely not a shade inside that is similar. Oh, I used the heck out of this one. This was such a good palette, so ahead of its time. Really, really good. All right, I'm gonna open up the Rose Quartz palette because this one I feel like has kind of similar vibes to the one we have in our hands today. So we have Rose Quartz here and we have Icy Nude here. What do we think? They're cousins, right? This one is just way more pink. It's like this palette but pinkified, right? I feel like that is definitely the case. Interesting. Definitely no like obvious dupes, like maybe the two deepest shades, but that's it. And honestly, I feel like I'm remembering the formulas of like Mercury Retrograde and stuff. I feel like they have definitely improved their eyeshadow formula. I have definitely really enjoyed playing with these shades, and I can't wait to play more because this is really my color story. I love cool tones, I love sparkles, I love the Huda Beauty formula. If it's also up your alley, I feel like it's really worth it grabbing while we still have the Sephora savings event on. If it's not out of stock, if it is, maybe like sign up for notifications so that you're not notified when it's back in stock. But yes, super worth it. I feel like it's such a beautiful palette and a really gorgeous color story. I feel like yes, there are some repetitions, like these couple of shades definitely feel the same, but at the same time I feel like it all works together and it's a beautifully curated color story. I thought that I would like the color story less than I do. I don't know how to describe it, but I thought I would feel like it's very repetitive. I don't think so. I think that you can create a different kind of vibe with this palette. You can even go warm with these couple shades and this beautiful bronzy shimmer. I really like it. Anyways, yeah, out of the collection, this is definitely a winner for me. I did enjoy the bronzers. I did enjoy how it looked. The shades I enjoyed most of all. The formula is nice. I did not quite enjoy the applicator, but I feel like if I applied it on the back of my hand and then picked it up with a brush and then applied it on my cheeks, it would be a winner for me. A big fan of these shades though. The glosses, like I already mentioned, remind me of my favorite glosses of all times, Lawless by Lawless, which is a lot, like it says a lot if I say something like that. Really beautiful, non-sticky, gorgeous formula, beautiful kind of like smoothing formula. Really enjoyed it, and the shades are outstanding as well. As far as the face gloss goes, this product is just not something I feel like should cost as much. Do you know what I mean? Like it costs $39. I would much rather I love the look, it looks beautiful, but I would much rather grab a regular powder blush where I can control the pigment and a regular liquid highlighter where I can disperse this glow. You know, it's beautiful, but at the same time, like your hands are gonna be pink and you know, you can't really control the pigmentation like I already mentioned, and it's just like a weird product to spend so much money on unless you want it. If you want it, then it's definitely up to you. I know there's people out there who like this kind of stuff and it's fun, but I think it was actually created to kind of, you know, to kind of have a weird product for views. Like it was created, in my humble opinion, for views on TikTok. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a fun product. I had fun reviewing it. People had fun reviewing it. I had fun using it as well. I feel like my cheeks look absolutely gorgeous with this product on, but I still think it's not worth the money. That's what I'm trying to say. Overall, the collection is spectacular. So beautiful. This hat is everything. The eyeshadow is everything. And just the curation of this collection, I don't know, everything about it I really loved. I really love where the brand is going, and I cannot wait to see what else they will come up with this year and next year, obviously. And I will link everything I used and all of these products in the description below. If you use my links, you really help out my channel quite a bit. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Let me know if you picked up any of these products already or if you're thinking about picking something up, and I hope you really enjoyed it. I will see you in the next one. Bye.